Alright, I legitimately used a paperclip to fix my air conditioning on my Chevy Express van. Let me explain more. My air conditioning was working great, and all of a sudden this last weekend when I took a trip in the van, the AC went out and was blowing room temperature air out of it, and I noticed it was not dripping the AC condenser water underneath the vehicle anymore like it should when the air conditioning is working properly on a hot day. So I'm assuming the AC coolant is low, and there might be a slow leak somewhere in which I will look into another day, but I just want to do a DIY fix on this and get it back up and running with cold air conditioning coming out of the vents once again. So another symptom I was having after I noticed the cold air stopped coming out of the vents was the AC compressor was switching on and off every few seconds and not staying on for long periods of time like it normally should when working properly. This is a telltale sign that the coolant is low and the low pressure switch on the AC system isn't reading enough coolant in there and shutting down the compressor from spinning because it prevents it from damaging itself by running low on coolant. So I have one of those DIY fill your own vehicle AC coolant bottles that has a gauge on it. Let me put it on the low pressure side, in which you can't screw this up because it only fits on the low pressure side and the high pressure is larger if I remember right, or at least they are not both the same size fittings. Now that I have it snapped on there nice and tight, I will go and turn the van on and let's read the pressure setting. So as you can see, I'm already showing that the system is overfilled and is in the danger zone. And I don't want to squeeze the trigger on the bottle because it will put too much pressure in the system. It will not fix the immediate problem. So I'm assuming a lot of people get stuck at this part like I initially was and are confused and most likely take it to a professional, and a couple $100 later their air conditioning is back up and running, but you do not gain the knowledge of what was the one thing you were missing that fixed the problem. That's where the paperclip comes into play. What we are going to do is bypass or jump the low pressure switch into thinking that the coolant level is good and the AC pump can run like it normally should. And after doing that, we will get a real reading of how much coolant is in the system. So let's pull off the low pressure switch and then just jab in both ends of the paperclip back into the low pressure switch. Turn the van on once again. And check that out, the compressor is staying on now. So let's quickly get some coolant in there from the bottle so no damage is done to the compressor with it being low. It takes a while for the coolant to get in there, and just keep shaking the bottle to get more out of it. I didn't have a full bottle to start out with, I just made it to the starting point of the green zone, so I'll have to get more to top it off another time. But let me check the vent and see if at least some cold air is coming out yet. Yep, it feels ice cold already. Let me turn the van off and remove the paperclip from the sensor and put that back into place. And start it back up and check the actual temperature coming out of the vents. It is 83 degrees outside right now, so that will give you an idea of what will be cold air coming out of the vents. "46 degrees was the last reading that I showed on the camera, but when I checked again later, on the coldest setting I saw it was 38 degrees. Super cold, and I was super happy with finding out that one thing holding me back from getting coolant into the reservoir: a paperclip. Now, just as a side note, if you do feel like you have a major leak somewhere and want to hunt it down yourself, there is a kit where you can inject some dye into the AC system and use an ultraviolet light to look for where it is leaking. And if you think this kit is cool, check out this other one that is a master kit that has the same AC dye kit in it, but you also get one for the radiator coolant, engine oil, transmission oil, and your fuel system. I have this kit and I've used it for a radiator leak I was having, and it showed me within seconds where the leak was coming from and saved me a lot of time. I highly recommend this kit if you're going to get one. I have a link for both in the description and comments area. Thanks for watching, and let me know in the comments if this paperclip fix worked for you.